What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Wednesday, September 17th. In today's dog video, we're going to be discussing the Fed rate cut that was just announced earlier today, and that is 25 basis points. Now, how's that going to affect cryptocurrency, especially within Q4 of 2025? But before we can get into that, I want to talk about also that R.A.R, the CEO of Kraken, is showing support by having dog featured in Times Square. Yes, billboards within Times Square, initiated by C2 Blockchain and Dog of Bitcoin. Then we're going to be talking about why America is possibly leading in the Bitcoin meme coin renaissance. And the most important thing, at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you proof that Dog is going to have a very bullish Q4 of 2025. This indicator on TradingView is something that's absolutely huge in terms of alpha, and it really pretty much aligns with what Bitcoin's monthly returns look like in Q4 of 2025. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X, and please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I will never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email, so please be careful and invest safely. Guys, girls, let's get right into it. So right now, Dog is down 2.2%, hovering around a 230 million market cap. Now, this is the news that recently just came out, which is that the Federal Reserve just announced as cutting interest rates by 25 basis points. This is something that we predicted. It's not 50 basis points, unfortunately. But with this 25 basis points, we haven't really seen the market move up or down. In fact, Bitcoin and Ethereum and many other altcoins are just kind of at a standstill. They're pretty much in stagnation. So this is something that I think is very interesting, is because usually if we hear a rate cut, the crypto market should at least react very volatilely, either to the upside or downside. So this is very strange in my personal opinion, but in the worst case scenario, I would not be surprised if the crypto market did take a slight dump just to the downside from this announcement, but we'll see what happens. But also, let's focus on another thing, okay? So even though altcoins right now are experiencing a little bit of a pump, only large cap altcoins are experiencing a massive pump, such as Solana, such as Ethereum. These coins typically pump right after Ethereum has a bull rally. So remember, Bitcoin pumped to around $108,000 to $124,000 per Bitcoin, which was a new all-time high. Then you saw Ethereum have a massive run up, roughly around $1,900. Then all of a sudden was at around $4,300, right? So obviously is sharing with you that large cap altcoins such as Solana, which went from around $189 to roughly around $253, that was a great example of large cap altcoins. So I think right now we are in the large cap altcoins right now pumping. So meme coins, especially Dog, fall under the altcoin season. But I think it's actually going to take some time to get there, meaning we may not see this until October, maybe even through like Q1 of 2026. So how have the meme coins reacted to the 25 basis rate cut announcement? Well, not too strong to the upside or downside. Just like the altcoins and especially Bitcoin, it hasn't really moved up or down. It's just very much in stagnation. In fact, Dog is still at 193 ranking. Not really much has moved. So let's move on to some other news. So R.A.R, who is the CEO of Kraken, obviously, he's very bullish around runes. He's seeing the early signals around how meme coins and the meme culture is being built on Bitcoin. And he continues to advocate for the Bitcoin meme coin ecosystem. As you can see here, Dog is featured on the left-hand side. But earlier this morning, you see that C2 Blockchain did make a post regarding their initiative partnering with Dog of Bitcoin. And that is, for number one, going to have a Times Square billboard, which is actually quite interesting. So Raphael, who ended up responding to C2 Blockchain, said, "Are we promoting as well that they can buy it on Kraken? It wouldn't hurt to promote Kraken, or do we need permission to add the Kraken logo?" He tagged R.A.R, and R.A.R replied, "Ping us, happy to help and support." So this is actually pretty cool that we're most likely going to see Dog with maybe Kraken in Times Square in New York at the main Times Square billboard section. That would be absolutely amazing. And this is just goes to show you that C2 Blockchain, Dog of Bitcoin, and many other advocates within the Dog army, especially R.A.R, are very bullish on having Dog garner more exposure. And R.A.R continues to show support as the CEO of one of the top exchanges in the United States. Speaking of which, let's talk about Coinbase really quickly. So Leonidas pointed out something really eye-opening, is that Coinbase support, when they replied with Dog confirming that there is that submission form that they did receive that, well, guess what? That received a higher impression count, retweets, likes, comments more than Coinbase assets, that when they listed World Liberty Financial Token, it did not get that much engagement. Look at the comparisons between these two. And Coinbase support, by the way, isn't like a very strong engagement account. Coinbase assets has a much more stronger based account engagement because a lot of people are very excited when things are announced on Coinbase assets. But I do believe that sooner or later you're going to see Coinbase assets announce dog. A lot of people have been asking me, is this response by Coinbase support made by AI? Well, guess what? I actually spoke to the Coinbase team themselves at Coinbase support, and they are actually real humans. So they did publicly acknowledge that the dog listing submission form was received. And if you wonder what these two letters are, this is the initials of the person that was responding to you. So if you ever see this, these are just initials of the Coinbase representatives that are responding to anybody that either tags them or basically just has a conversation with Coinbase support. But remember, Coinbase support was not tagged in the dog submission posts. They were not even tagged in the comments. They themselves, Coinbase support, reached out to Dog of Bitcoin and Vito to say, hey, we thank you for this, for the formal submission form, and we have actually acknowledged it. That is absolutely bullish. And shout out to Hova Beta, who did point out that my account surpassed the CEO of Coinbase in terms of overall reach within its ecosystem in Coinbase. This is how powerful the dog army is, and it doesn't just stop there, because we're dominating Gemini, we're dominating Coinbase, we're also dominating Bitcoin. So what you need to know is that right now, Kraken is the leading exchange right now for Bitcoin meme coins. Dog, you can trade it on there for spot trading with any cryptocurrencies throughout the 400 that they have listed. But also we have Coinbase that is right now reviewing the Dog Bitcoin application and is currently under review. Now, next up, it could be Gemini. And the reason I'm posting this image is because, honestly, I really do believe that America is beginning to lead the Bitcoin meme coin renaissance, and it's happening with Dog. Because what I love about America, or at least the United States, is that they honor how merit-based listing should be. And it's mainly due to the fact that there's a lot of regulatory oversight. There's a lot of basically regulation within the United States that you can't have any manipulation or insider trading within the United States. You can see this happening with OKX, Binance, HTX, KuCoin, any of these other exchanges outside the US, especially Asia-based exchanges, don't have that regulatory oversight or the accountability. They can do a lot of fishy things in insider trading, and also there are gatekeepers that want to be paid with tokens or maybe upfront listing fee. This is why I think America leads by honoring the whole merit-based system. So this is why I think Coinbase probably is next in line to list Dog for spot trading. So C2 Blockchain really made a great post summarizing everything that's happening with Dog. So the writing is on the wall. Kraken's CEO is talking about Dog, Arjun Sethi. Then you saw that Dog was the #1 trending overall asset within StockTwits. And then you saw that CoinMarketCap was covering Dog because we won the whole Boost Me CMC competition. And that means that Dog was at the front page of CoinMarketCap that has over millions of viewers every single day. Then you see that Coinbase is even tweeting and mentioning and replying about the Dog application. And really, if you're not paying attention, you're about to miss out on history. Dog is next. So this is a really important chart that I want to show you, and this is the nook and cranny of this video. Check out this indicator, okay? This is the Rainbow Adaptive RSI, aka the R.A.R. So if you look at this specific indicator in the very bottom, it'll tell you when Dog is either starting a bull market or peaking and then reaching a bear market. So every single time we start to see the very part where this purple line hits this specific meter, you'll start to see the price of Dog start to go up. And then when it reaches this specific top right around here, or maybe even close to it, you start to see a top, and then the bear market begins. And then you start to see this trend. But notice every single time that we see this trend, a bull market signal flashes right at the purple line. As you can see, it aligns perfectly with the Dog price. And then you see the Dog price going up, seeing a retracement back down, then going back up again. This is a great example of where you can spot top and bottoms for Dog Bitcoin. And as you can see, we saw an all-time high at around 980 million market cap back in June of 2024, and then a new all-time high, 999 million market cap in December of 2024. It was so close to $1 billion, it was so crazy. Then we saw another bear market, and again, we saw another bullish signal. Then we saw the rumors of Kraken potentially listing Dog for spot trading, and then we reached a bear market right here, and it extended for quite some time. And we currently right now looks like that we're reaching the same indicator, which again, when we revisit this purple line, another bullish signal is flashing. But I want to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. I've updated this chart just a little bit. So what I want you to notice is the amount of days between a bull market rally to a bear market descent. So what are we noticing here? Now look at this. The very first indicator when the bull market flashed on the Rainbow Adaptive RSI is that we experienced a 21-day bull market. Then we experienced 110 days of a bear market. And again, same thing, a bull market flash, we experienced 79 days of a bull market. Then when we were in a bear market, we experienced 132 days. And then the next bull market that we saw a signal flash right around here, we saw a 30-day bull market. And what are we using here on the next section? So basically, how I determined 121 days that we could potentially see, the furthest that we could see within this bear trend is that I took the averages of 132 and in 110 bear market days. These are the averages that led up to an average of 121 days. So right now we're roughly right around here, September 17th. So 121 days could possibly be roughly around September 21st. So that's roughly around 4 to 5 days from now. So with that said, could we see a bull market rally begin after that? Well, if it does begin to rally, maybe we could see a bull market happening right around here. So how long could this bull market rally last for? Well, again, I took the averages of the 30-day bull rally here, 79-day bull rally here, and 21 days of a bull rally here. So the average of all these three together led up to 42 days. So basically at the end of that, it could lead an end for that bull market around November 3rd or November 2nd. So again, this is just averages. This doesn't mean that this is actually going to happen. I just took what I could from historical data to give me an average of how long a bear market will last and how long a bull market will last. But notice that this kind of happens around November. Now, the reason we're paying attention to basically the Bitcoin monthly returns is, have you noticed something about September? Now, Bitcoin Archive brought up a really great point. Bitcoin is having its best September ever so far. Every time September crosses or closes in the green, October and November pump even harder. And that's an absolutely great point. As you've seen here, the only times that we've seen September in the green, which is right over here in 2015, 16, and also 2023 and 2024, you started to see October and November rally. So that pretty much aligns with what Dog Bitcoin is going to be. Because Dog Bitcoin right now looks like it's very bullish for Q4 2025. And maybe December is where we may peak before we see another retracement, and then we see another bull market rally continuation in Q1 of 2026. So that's why I'm looking at the chart within Dog Bitcoin, because really it looks like October is going to be a very bullish month for Dog all the way up until November. And again, this is just an average. This could last even longer up until the end of November. We'll see. And this is why it's really important for you to understand how bullish right now Dog is, regardless of the Fed rate cut, regardless of what we're seeing within the market. This is very bullish in my personal opinion. So again, you know I'm bullish on Dog Bitcoin, but I really want you to stay informed. And right now, Dog Bitcoin isn't really priced into Bitcoin's market cap. It's only 0.01% of Bitcoin's market share. And as you've seen, right now, Coinbase is reviewing Dog Bitcoin's application for spot trading. Kraken has already listed Dog for spot trading. And who knows, maybe Gemini will be the next exchange to list Dog for spot trading, just because I think that America is leading in the charge of Bitcoin meme coins. So with that said, let me know your thoughts down below, what you think about the Fed rate cuts and also around Dog Bitcoin's going to be, given the tools and also indicators I've shared with you for absolutely free. By the way, you can use these indicators for free on TradingView. Let me know your thoughts around that indicator regarding the Rainbow Adaptive RSI and where you predict Dog's price is going to be in the end of Q4 of 2025. So until then, be sure to smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and trades regarding Dog on the Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.